Hi. Today I thought I'd talk a bit about food. And what prompted that was just thinking about our puppy, Ziggy, who is 5.5 months old now. And Ziggy has a raw food diet because actually that's now recommended for dogs. It's something that I didn't know about before when we've had dogs. But actually feeding them raw meat, so all minced up stuff that we get from a raw food shop, and it's supposed to be really good for them because actually it's quite close to what they would, it's much more close to what they would have in the wild. Um, and it's good for their fur and it's good for their general well-being and their gut and general health, and he seems to be thriving really well on it. The picture on this site actually is him eating an ice cream in the Peak District. So we do every now and again give him a little treat of something else. But generally we try and stick to the raw food diet. And I've been thinking about food quite a bit again recently, and been a couple of things in the past where I've had real challenges about what I eat and why I eat. So I thought I'd share that, um, share those stories, and just have a little think about why we eat what we do and the effects that can have on us. So a few years ago, I'd been getting a lot of viral infections through the winter. It's part and parcel of my job in some ways, in that I see a lot of people who've got viral infections and coughs and colds, and you get exposed to things, and so you can tend to pick up things a lot more. But this winter had been particularly bad, and I seem to have had a sort of low grade thing running along most of the time. And I was chatting to a friend of mine who knows a lot about nutrition. Um, and he was just saying, "Oh, Mary, I think it would be really good if you stopped eating chocolate for a while." Now I'm sure I was delighted at that prospect, or not. I love chocolate, and actually, what he didn't know was that I'd been eating huge amounts of chocolate. I mean, I could demolish a 200-gram Cadbury bar in a day quite easily, and I did know deep down that actually eating such vast amounts of chocolate wasn't good for me. But just the way he said it to me, and he said, actually maybe you need to think about introducing more things like curly kale into your diet that have really good nutrients in them, and actually think a bit more about what I'm eating. Um, so I took that away, and because I trust him, I did actually do that, and I actually went 6 months without eating chocolate, and along with the chocolate, trying to reduce sweet things generally. And I did try and increase the amount of sort of good quality vegetables and fruit in my diet, and surprise, surprise, I was loads better. And actually, that next winter, I had much less in the way of viral infections. Now, that could have been a coincidence, but I don't think it was. And actually, I felt better on less chocolate or no chocolate. I felt better in myself, more energetic and less sluggish. Um, so I think sometimes just actually challenging ourselves a little bit, or asking someone else to help us challenge ourselves on what we're eating, is actually a good thing to do, and actually being willing to make some changes, even if they're difficult, and even if we have to persevere with them, because some of the health problems that we have are linked with what we're putting into our bodies. And I know that as a doctor, it's sometimes harder to apply that to ourselves, isn't it? But it is definitely worth thinking about. And then last year, um, I decided to join Slimming World, and that was quite a big thing for me because that was actually acknowledging that I needed to lose some weight to be more healthy, and I wanted to. And I also wanted to start thinking about what I was eating and why. Now, I didn't find that an easy thing to do. I didn't find going to a group an easy thing to do. And actually admitting that this was something that I needed to do something about. But I did it, and I actually found the group really supportive and encouraging, actually. And it was good to be in a context where we could just talk about food in quite an open kind of way. And it made me think about why I ate what I ate. Um, so often I've eaten food for the wrong reasons, not because I'm hungry or because I need some food, but because I'm upset or stressed or bored, or without even thinking about it, or because it's what I've always done. Again, the chocolate for me has been something where if I'm feeling stressed or I've had a difficult day, it pops into my head to go and buy some chocolate, as if that will somehow make it better. And then I eat the chocolate and actually it hasn't made it better, and I feel bad that I've done that, and actually my body feels bad that I've done that as well. So actually doing this actually made me think about what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, and challenging some of the deep parts of me really. If I'm feeling stressed or tired or sad about something, there are better ways than just turning to food. It can be good to actually chat to a friend, or it can be good to go for a walk, or it can be good to write it down in a journal, or just acknowledge in some ways what actually the issue is that I'm trying to feed or I'm trying to meet through the food. Sometimes it's quite a deep thing, so it can be things around feeling unloved or unvalued or shameful, or actually not liking our bodies, and so we almost jeopardize them by eating stuff that's not good for us, because we find it hard to love ourselves. And I think often around food, certainly for me, and I think for lots of people, there are deeper things than we realize, that drive what we do, and what we eat. So to cut a long story short with the Slimming World, I persisted, and I managed to lose quite a bit of weight over a period of around 6 months, and I actually do feel a lot better for it. I'm still aware that there's the tendency to go off down tracks that are not helpful for me. But I've established new patterns, new routines, new ways of doing things, and I think differently about food, cooking more from scratch, doing simple things, actually questioning, do I really need to eat the size of portion that I've eaten before? And it's changed my mindset, it's changed how I think about things. So I think if you struggle with food, if you know that actually you're eating in a way that's unhealthy, you maybe want to lose a bit of weight, but more than that, you want to eat in a healthy way, then maybe it's good to start just thinking about, why am I doing what I'm doing? What am I trying to feed? What's deep down in me? What's there that might actually be driving this? I mean, ultimately, a really big thing for me has been actually remembering that I'm loved by God. I'm created by Him, and I'm loved by Him, and I have worth and value, whatever I look like, whatever my body looks like. And somehow, because I know that as a foundation, as I remember that as a foundation, then I can love myself, love my body, and actually want to take care of it. So I want to love myself like He loves me, and value myself like He values me. And that can be a really helpful starting point as well. Just to remember that you're unique and valued and loved and precious, and you're worth looking after, you're worth taking care of. And then reflect that in what we're actually doing practically. And if necessary, chat to someone. Something like Slimming World can be really helpful. I know it's difficult at the moment with all the lockdown things, but they're still active and there's online stuff. So get help. Actually talk to someone and get help, and see what you can do. So yeah, hang in there and persevere and keep looking, and actually good things can come, and things can change.